What's up, y'all? Welcome to the channel. This is your boy Amit, and today we are looking at survey funnels inside Zenler. Let's get started. All right, before we get started, this came out in April 2025, so it is a fairly new functionality. I'm going to walk you through the functionality, show you how it works, and then give you some tips and tricks on how to best use it. So, this is the blog that Zenler published, and there's a bunch of tutorials that the Zenler team has also laid out on how to use the survey funnels. You can see this is very comprehensive. So let's dive right into it. What I have done here is I have created a Miro board to walk you through how the flow works inside of Zenler. So survey funnel comes with 4 basic steps. So you have your welcome page. This is where your users will land once they're going through the survey funnel. On the welcome page, there'll be some headline, hey, take this survey to know your personality fit or what have you, right? They'll click start, they get into the survey. So this is the survey page where all the questions live along with their answers. Once they have finished that survey, they get to the opt-in page. This is where they will provide you with their name and email to get the results of the survey. From here, they are sent to the result page. Now, I have multiple result pages here because you can have more than one result page, which is awesome. And what else is cool is not only can you have different result pages based on their survey responses, you can also have unique emails for each of those result pages, which is insane. And all of this is included in your monthly subscription for Zenler. So definitely worth checking out. And they have a free trial, 60 days for free. Test it out. They'll move all your stuff for you. Now, I've also created a basic structure, and I would highly recommend that you do this before you get into building the survey, because this can get out of control very easily. So this is my basic structure. I have a 5-question survey, and don't get scared with all the arrows pointing every which way. Let's just start with the basic, right? You have your 5 questions survey, and for each question, I can have 4 answers. So 5 questions, 4 answers each. And then what's cool is if I enable branching based on the answers that my respondents, my survey takers are giving, I can branch them into the different result pages. And then from here, they can have their unique emails that you can start sending to them based on the results that they got. So that's pretty cool. Now let's go into Zenler and show you how to build this up. So first thing you're going to do in Zenler is you're going to head to marketing funnels, and this is where you will find your survey funnel. I already have a space quiz here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this and we're going to start from scratch. So once you land here, you're going to click on create funnel. I'm going to refresh the page, make sure my space funnel is completely gone because that's the same one we're going to rebuild. So it's completely gone. I'm going to click on create new funnel, and you will see this new option here. There's also a video that they have put in here, which is awesome. So I'll select the survey funnel, click next, and then let's give it a name. So I'm going to give it the same name called space quiz. Select a theme. There's only one theme to select, but inside of your survey, I'm going to show you how you can customize the theme. And from here, you get to the edit survey step. Now you can also hop over to the funnel steps just to see what are these steps involved. So first is your welcome page that I showed you earlier, then your survey page, then opt-in page, and then result page. But you can customize all of this and you can add more result pages. So I'm going to head back over to my survey tab and click on edit survey. So this brings you inside of the survey module. Now what I'm going to do here is on the left side are your questions, your welcome page, your opt-in page, and your result page. Very easily laid out for you to quickly look at what you need to work on. And then on the right side are your survey settings, your branching, and what have you. And then in the middle is your questions and your answers to those questions. Now what we're going to do here is we are going to import some questions. So I'm going to click on this import questions button, and what I can do is I can upload a CSV. Highly recommend that you download this CSV file so you get an idea of how this needs to be laid out, fill it out, and then you can upload that CSV file. And it says here you can upload up to 30 questions at once. So I have my space quiz branching survey here. I'm going to open that up, and now you'll see on the left side those questions got added. So then I can go and delete these 2 questions that I don't need anymore. Those are the out of the box questions that Zenler just puts in there because they want something to be in the survey. All right, now my survey questions are in, but you will notice something that whenever there is an apostrophe, Zenler adds all these extra characters here. So while you are importing the survey, just keep that in mind that if you have an apostrophe, I would highly recommend you go through all of the imported questions questions and make sure that those extra characters are taken out. So I'm going to quickly go through it. Looks like I have one more here. I think that was it. Perfect. My questions are in. That was easy. Now let me show you some of the other things you can do within this surveys to make it ready for your survey takers. So first thing I want to do is I want to go into survey settings. I'm going to go to theme and I'm going to change the theme. So I can click on my themes and you can see I already have a theme here. If this is your first time, you're not going to see anything in here. So you can just go and choose any one of these. So let's just pick this one, midnight here, and apply that. And once it's applied, you can hit edit and you can change the font. You can change the question color, the options color, and the background color. So for now, I'm just going to change the font. Let's go with this font here. And then I'm going to also change the background image. I already have this image uploaded in the gallery and I'm going to hit this little blue save button. Don't forget to hit that. Once you do that, theme will be successfully saved. And now if I go to my theme, you will see under my themes, I have two separate themes. So right now I am on midnight. I can click on dark theme and apply that one. And that one, the font is different. So you'll see now the font has changed, but the background is exactly the same. So that is how themes work. Again, super easy. The UI is very user friendly. So thank you Zenler team for doing this. As we walk through these survey settings, some of the other things I would like to show you here is showing the navigation button. So if you uncheck this, the navigation button won't be shown, but I want to show that. So I'm going to click keep that checked and hit save again. You can also auto advance so they won't have to click next. I'm not going to select that. And then you can also randomize the questions. I'm not going to select that either. Then under advanced, you can enable progress bar. I really like the different progress bars they have. I like this gray on gray, actually the first one. So I'm going to keep that and hit save. You can also enable branching. So when you enable branching, something to note is that every question becomes required because otherwise Zenler will not know how to branch to the next question. We already looked at theme, and then finally you can change the button language here. So finish button, if you want to call it something else, if maybe this is in a different language, you can just type all of that out here. So the basic service structure out of the box is now ready to rock and roll, but we are not going to stop here. There's a lot more settings to look at. So we looked at service settings. On the question itself, you will see there is a edit theme option here. So you can again go back and edit the theme, or you can delete that question completely. Now you can see that this one is a multiple choice question. Let's say I want to add more questions here. I can go down here and click the add button. And now I have multiple choice, multiple response, true, false, media, rating, scale, free text, and fill in the blanks kind of question. So let's say I want to add a fill in the blank question. I can just type out my question and then my respondents will be able to fill in that blank. Now on my screen, this add blank button is getting covered by the Grammarly Chrome extension, but know that there's an add blank button here, so I can add multiple blanks within this survey. Just keep that in mind. So that's how all the question types work. Once you add them, you can play with them, you can edit them right there on the screen, and then they are ready for prime time. Now once you add a question and add the options, say you want to delete this option or maybe just change it, you can just highlight it and type whatever you want, or you can hit the little trash can to delete that option. So for now, I'm going to leave these 8 questions as is, not change them. My survey is almost ready. Now, few things to note here. I can also add a media file to my questions. So let's say I add this. Now this is per question. So for each question, if you want to add a separate image, you can do that. I'm not going to do that right now because I have my theme, I have my background image, but just note that is an option. Maybe your survey is more visual, maybe you want to show different instruments, what have you, right? Know that that option is there for every single question inside of Zenler's survey. So we've added all of our questions. Now let's hop to the welcome page and see what that looks like. So I'm going to click on my welcome page, and what that does is it opens the editor and brings you to the welcome page of the survey. And this would be kind of like your landing page where people will go and take the survey. And you can see right now, if I go to the button settings here, the settings are set to go to the next step, which is the survey. So again, there's lots of videos on how to customize this page. You can pretty much nuke this, start over, make it amazing, use ChatGPT, take Zenler's code, put it in ChatGPT and make it even better. There's lots you can do. We are not going to spend time on that, but know that that's how the welcome page editing works. Right now, I'm not going to edit it, so I'm going to leave that page. Once your welcome page is done, you will work on your survey. And then once survey is done, comes the opt-in page. So if you go back to my Miro Miro. Let's go here. So the opt-in page is where you will collect their email. At this point, they've gone through the survey. They have done a bunch of micro commitments. So the likelihood of your survey respondents giving you their email is very high, right? Because they've already taken all these micro commitments. Now they want to see the result. So before you show them the results, it's logical to collect their email. So that's what you do in the opt-in page. And then from here, you will take them to the results page. Now you can see that I only have one result page here. What we're going to do now is we're going to add multiple result pages, and then we're going to get into branching. So to add a new result page, what I'm going to do is first I'll edit this and call it result page 1. I did notice a glitch here that sometimes this just disappears before I hit save. So I had to do it a few extra times. This might happen to you. Again, this is a fairly new functionality. I'm recording this video 3 months after it came out. So hopefully they're going to continue to iterate and make it better. Now all I need to do here is click on add new result, and we'll call this result page 2. Let's copy this to our clipboard, and I'm going to add one more and call it result page 3. Now you'll notice when you go to add it, there's a video to show you how branching works. Highly recommend you watch that video. But since you're watching this already, you can skip that. So now we have 3 result pages, but how do we get users to come to those different pages? That's where branching comes in. Again, if we go back to our Miro, you can see that we have different branching here. So in my branching, I have said, if someone says yes to answer 1, take them, or if someone selects answer 1, take them to question 3. If they select answer 2, also then take them to question 2, so on and so forth. So that's how branching works. Each answer dictates where they're going to go next in that branch. And how that translates in Zenler is all I need to do is go here and click on branching. And since we had already enabled branching in the survey settings, now it opens up this new window where we can set our branching. And you can see for my first question here, how often do you gaze at the stars? I have 4 potential answers, and each of those answers can go to a completely separate step. So for example, if someone says almost every night, then I can take them to question 3 and have them skip question 2. So I can say, okay, if they say almost every night, let's just go to question 3. If they say once in a while, we're going to still go to question 2. If they say rarely, then we are still going to go to question 2. And only if there's a big event, then we are going to go to question 3. So first and last option go to question 3. The middle 2 options go to question 2. And again, I can do that for every single question in the quiz. Once you're done with the branching, you can hit save. Now, what Zenler's survey doesn't do is add or keep tally of a score in the backend, which I have used other tools such as tally.so or survey tools that are made for this purpose, like Jotform, where you can create a score in the backend, and that score drives your lead scoring, which then helps you identify if this is the right person for your course. We're not getting that granular here, but what is cool is you can now add groups. So we have our 8 questions. What if I wanted to group these questions into different buckets? I can do so by hitting the add button, and then once you press the add button, you're going to see this add group. So I can add multiple groups here, and that's how I can guide my respondents to different answers. So let's go and add a bunch of groups. So I have a new group here. Let's just call this group 2 and hit the save button. Then let's add another group, and this will be group 3. All right, 3 groups are good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag some of these questions and add them to my different groups. And as I'm adding them, you will see that their number changes based on the group that they are in. So this group has 3 questions, this group has 2 questions, and the first group also has 3 questions. Now, before I get into branching, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little easier by renaming these groups again. So let's call this intermediate. We'll hit save, and then let's call this advanced and hit save. Now, when we go into branching, you will notice that our group names are there, intermediate, advanced, and this is how the survey starts with the basic new group. So what I can do now is I can say, if someone says almost every night, let's skip our intermediate group and move them to advanced, because they're staring at the sky every night. These are advanced people. And also if there's a big event, they're staring at the sky, we're going to move them to advanced. Otherwise, we are going to keep them to intermediate. Rarely also goes to intermediate. All right, and then next one, we can do the same thing. I can name constellation and galaxies. These are advanced people. So again, we're gonna go to the next question, but we're gonna skip the intermediate and then go directly to advanced. If you only know some planets, then you need to learn more. So we're gonna send them to intermediate. So you can see how this can become complex, and that is why mapping it out, whether it's pen on paper, whether it's Miro, a whiteboard, what have you, very important. Just use a good old whiteboard and map it out, right? Once you have mapped it out, the next step is how do you incorporate the results page? So that's where I'm going to go back into branching. I'm going to say the final advanced people or the final question of the intermediate people. If someone says this, then I want to bring them to the results 2 page. If someone says this, we're going to bring them to the results 1 page, results 2 page, so on and so forth. So that's how your result pages will come in, is towards your final questions. You have given them a journey by taking them to different questions, and each answer has given them a different path, and that path is finally going to lead to the result, the grand reveal of what did they find out after this survey. Are they an astronomer, a cosmonaut, or just a good old regular sky observer, right? That's my survey and my quiz. Yours is going to be different, but that's the end goal, is to show them that final result. And that's how you would branch them and get them over to that final result. And that's how the result pages come in. Now, similar to your opt-in page and your welcome page, what's going to happen is once they've gone through all of this, finally they will be brought to the opt-in page. If we go back to our Miro, survey page then leads to the opt-in page, right? So you want to go and now customize your opt-in page. So you click on the opt-in page, it's going to open up a new tab, and from here you can customize your opt-in page similar to your welcome page. The only difference here is you're telling them, hey, you're just one step away from seeing the results, but before you do, here's how you can download the results. So you do this, they submit the form, and once they submit the form, the branching takes care of it all. You don't need to worry about how they answer which question. You've already programmed that on the back end in Zenler. The next thing is going to happen is they're going to be taken to the result page based on your branching. And then same thing applies here. You can go and change the result page by clicking on it, going into the editor, and then editing the heck out of that result page, just like you did with your welcome page and your opt-in page. So that's how this works. Now, what happens once they've received the result? Now you want to guide them through different email series. So that's where the automation comes in. So we looked at branching, we looked at the different questions, we looked at how to add those questions. I'll show you what this survey looks like, but before I do, I want to take you to the automation where I can show you how email works. So let's head out of here, and once you head back, it's going to bring you back to that survey. Now from here, I'm going to go to automation, and in my automation we can hit edit automation rules, and right now you will see there's only 2 actions: email drip series and then result email sequence. What I'm going to do is add another action, and this is going to be on survey result, and let's just call this result 2, and the trigger will be the survey result on result page 2. We're going to save changes, and then we'll do this again on survey result. We'll call this result 3, and result will be result page 3. So we have added our actions, and what we can do now is I can say on result 2, if someone lands on result 2, send them an email about that specific result. And again, this is going to be different for your niche. Maybe you are trying to figure out who falls under the beginner, intermediate, and advanced section of your online course, and based on where they fall, you want to send them different email sequences to guide them to purchase that course. So that's how this will come in handy. In my survey, I put intermediate and advanced. So then my result 2 would be the intermediate emails, my result 3 would be the advanced emails, and I can guide them through that journey. Now, having said that, let's go look at what that survey actually looks like in person when someone tries to take it. So I'm going to go back into editing my survey, and Zenler has thought of all of this. And again, this entire thing can be its own tool, its own tech stack, but Zenler has figured out a way to add this inside of their course curriculum, which is just amazing. So I'm going to go and preview this survey to show you what this looks like. So again, this is your welcome page. You can see up here in the URL bar, FS space quiz. I can go and change that if I wanted to, but for now, let's just take the quiz. This is going to open the survey page where we have the 8 questions. So again, let's go through these questions. Let's say every night, and you will see that the progress bar is moving as you're taking these answers, but there is one problem. The problem is that the progress bar is only working for that group, not for the entire 8 questions. So right now it's telling me that I'm 50% of the way there. So if you are going to use groups, I would highly recommend to remove the progress bar because that could be misleading. Because I have 8 questions, not 2 questions. So this one is going to branch me to a different question. What is your relationship to the cosmos? Let's say we are 1. What's the next event that excites you? Let's go meteor shower and finish. Now, even though I had 8 questions, I only took 3, and that was because of the branching. The branching worked where I only had to take 3 questions instead of all 8. And if I remove that branching, then I would have to go through every single question. Now let's just put in a fake name and email to get my results. So once you put in your name and email, click on download freebie. Based on the results, they'll be shown either the result page or result page 1 or 2, so on and so forth. And there you have it. That is how you can use Zenler survey funnels to level up your game. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a video. And until next time, keep creating.